Kia ora. Tonight in this edition of City News, Councillor Maureen Waka says discussions on the proposed Eastern Arterial need to start now if a way forward is to be reached. Police executed 50 search warrants in Rotorua yesterday, resulting in 28 arrests. And New Zealand Rugby League are holding their community carnival at Puketewhero Park on Sunday. Rotorua District Councillor Maureen Waka says she understands concern of Hapu over the NZTA announcement last week of their preferred route for the Eastern Arterial. The arterial will encroach on Māori reserve land as well as Whenua Tapu areas near Nagpuna. A grassroots organisation hit the headlines this week saying they're opposing what they see as more Te Arawa land confiscation. Councillor Waka says iwi and Hapu are being asked to cope with a lot. However, both sides will need to sit down and start now to look at ways of moving forward.
Anything that is so important needs to be worked through in a way that gives us a result rather than a hammer belting somebody else around the ears. And there's got to be give and take both sides. I hope we're going to get that through. Otherwise, there's always that act that we've got in the back pocket of any official grouping, and you know what that is, the Public Works Act. Now, if you have to pull that card, that's a sad. We've had enough of that stuff. That's why claims are still going through. So there must be something and some way in which we can reach an outcome. We won't reach it if we keep throwing stones at each other. Sit down around a table, get the people who can talk the sense around the table, and find out a way to move forwards to benefit everybody. And let it be recognised that these people have given towards the economy of our city.
The next step in the process to build the Eastern Arterial is for the NZTA to lodge a notice of requirement with the Rotorua District Council. Police executed 50 search warrants in Rotorua yesterday, resulting in 28 arrests and 10 warnings. It was part of a Bay White operation where 99 people were arrested and 20,000 cannabis plants destroyed, as well as confiscation of tens of thousands of dollars in cash. The head of the operation, Detective Senior Sergeant Lindsay Pilbrow, says the preventative benefits of this operation are significant. He says police estimate saving in terms of overall social harm at $52 million. Rotorua District Council is lifting the area's total fire ban, but a restricted fire season for rural areas comes into effect from Monday, the 15th of April. The total fire ban has been in place across the entire Rotorua district since late January because of the extreme fire risk from the dry conditions. RDC Acting Principal Rural Fire Officer Richard Horn says the total fire ban was lifted as the current weather meant fire conditions were no longer extreme. However, a fire permit is required in rural areas for all outdoor fires such as vegetation, hangi and brazier fires. The restricted fire season runs through until the end of the month. Hospice Rotorua is holding their second annual street appeal tomorrow and hope to surpass last year's collection total of $5,000. Funding manager Jan Morgan says money donated tomorrow will go towards the running costs of Rotorua Community Hospice. She says they have huge costs and this appeal will help those costs as well as help buy new equipment.
Well, as I said, it costs $1.5 million, and that's to pay nurses' wages, that's to buy medical equipment such as beds and pressure mattresses and wheelchairs. One day the garage can be full of those wheelchairs and the next day they're all gone, they're all out. So especially pressure mattresses, we try and alleviate as much pain as possible, so we're really looking and focusing at quality of life for those folks.
Hospice Clinical Director Sue Taylor says the appeal is hugely important to hospice.
It's hugely important to the nurses and to the Rotorua community that it allows the community to have some buy-in to our service, and the fundraising is an important part of it because it enables us to provide the care in the patients' homes and provide the equipment so that people are able to stay at home with the dignity and support that they require.
Keep an eye out for those collectors and support Rotorua Hospice. In sport tonight, New Zealand Rugby League is holding another community carnival at Puketewhero Park on Sunday. Now in its third year, the Community Carnivals program has seen thousands of children and their families enjoy free breakfast, fun and games, and learn a bit more about rugby league and the modified mini-mod game. Also a huge success at the carnivals is Pertek Kiwi, who's kept busy posing for photos, hugging babies, dancing and mingling with the crowd. The Community Carnival is on this Sunday, the 14th of April, and is aimed at 5 to 12-year-olds and starts at 9 a.m. Your weather update now, Rotorua. Tonight will be fine with westerly breezes and an overnight low of 9. Tomorrow for Friday, cloudy periods increasing with westerly breezes, a high of 20 and a low of 10. And the outlook for Saturday, a few morning showers, then fine with some light winds, a high of 20 and a low of 10. The marine forecast for Lake Rotorua, westerly 10 knots developing during the morning, rising to 15 knots for a time in the afternoon, and then easing to variable 5 knots at night, with waves less than half a metre and fine. Remember, for program listings and other info, or to upload images, check out our website tvrotorua.co.nz. Still to come in tonight's program, Jan Morgan and Sue Taylor tell us about tomorrow's hospice appeal. Senior Sergeant Andrew Lynch has winter road safety messages, and we meet some of the trainee teachers from Te Wānanga who are off to Botswana.